Okay, let's move on to the product. Now, up to this point, we've really been focusing a whole lot on the classroom side of the equation. Now, we're going to start taking a look at what happens in the classroom. We're going to start looking at the content or the product of the class. And that honestly is the part of the equation that each of you is going to be most comfortable with out of all that we've talked about thus far. So, presence, that's kind of a teachery thing, and your presence in the classroom. The process, again, a lot of teachery stuff going on over in the classroom and bringing that into this educational space. What we want to talk about now is content. Now, I know when I went to college, I didn't go to just get education courses. I went and I got a full math degree. If you're coming to be teaching accounting, you likely have an accounting degree. If you're in one of the trades, that is a trade that you have honed, that you have worked so hard on, that you've either learned through school, you've learned on the job, you've learned in apprenticeship. All of those things are the content that you bring to the classroom with you. That's why you're there as the teacher. So the product is most closely tied with content. Now, so let's talk about how do we deal with content or product in the classroom. Well, the first thing that's going to determine your content or your product in the classroom is going to be the Master Syllabus. Now, the Master Syllabus is very simple. It is the guiding document that says this course is intended to teach the following topics. It is intended to teach them in a certain way. It is intended to lay out the official, legal, and college expectations for what's going to be in this course. Now, the Master Syllabus also includes other components that are part of process or procedure or even performance, and it tells the students a great deal about the expectations that you have for them. But the key for our purpose right now is that the Master Syllabus is going to tell you what product you're bringing to the classroom. Based on the Master Syllabus, you create a working syllabus. That working syllabus is the one that you use for your class for each semester, and it is adapted based on your needs and the needs of your class for that semester based on format, location, time, and a number of other restrictions. So the Master Syllabus, you create the working syllabus. From there, you also use that to create the entry in the college handbook. So when a student comes and says, well, I need to take a class. Well, what class do I need? They go to the list of required courses and they go find a course that fits that description, that fits within the plan that the college has lined out for them. That's going to be in the Master Syllabus. Now, I'm not going to spend too terrible much more time on the Master Syllabus because I'm not the expert on that. We have experts here at Richland Community College, and part of this unit in this class is going to be to tell you about them and introduce you to them, and I'll let them speak for themselves. With that in mind, let's go back to the idea of once we have a Master Syllabus and a working syllabus that says, here's what the content of the course is, that's where you come in and say, okay, if these are the goals of the course, what piece, skill, content area, procedure, or individual component of education needs to be put in to meet this goal? What individual practice element needs to go in to help them practice that skill or that procedure to meet that goal? So the content is built from the top down in the sense that if our discussion is biology, well, that's the study of life. Biology 101 is going to be very different from biology 102. It's going to be very different than a specific study underneath the umbrella of biology, and as the instructor, they are to use the various required pieces of documentation to create the content for the course that fits that description. So, for core academic classes, Most professors have to have certain higher level college degrees to teach those courses. However, if we move over into the trades area or into the skills-based area, those degrees are not necessary because the training for those skills are what you're here for. They're the things that you specialize in, and you're going to bring your unique content knowledge, skill knowledge, procedure knowledge to the classroom. So, although there's a great deal of paperwork and there are official forms, especially in the trades area, in the skills area, in the hands-on area, there's a lot more flexibility about what is included as content in the class and what is not included in content in the class. This really makes a big difference in the areas of drafting, computers, auto body, welding. There's constantly things that are changing in those specific applied and application fields that you as an expert are going to have to determine what goes in and what comes out. Now, the other thing to remember about content is that you have a limited amount of time. And that really is something that, whether it is for the four-year track student, whether it is the associate track student, whether it is the certification track student, that's the enemy of all teachers: time. Because as much as we may love our field, as much as we may specialize in our field, one of the things that we have to do is we have to boil down what the student needs to get that student, as we mentioned way back in one of our first videos, from here to here. We are going to have to pare that content down into a manageable size so that when they move from here to here, they have all the necessary bridging skills, but more importantly, they have a context or a framework that they can use to add skills as they learn more. They can add procedures as they learn more. As things change and as they grow as a specialist in that area, whether that area is biology or accounting or auto body or computers, as those skills change and as the needs of the fields change, they can then know how to learn and critically think about their field, know where to find extra resources, know where to find the new methods and the new content, because you've not only helped them learn what you know, but you've helped them learn how to add to that. So, content is king in the classroom, but it also has an enemy of time, and making sure that we have the necessary components in the content without extra things is a real challenge. And to be fair, it's something that we may have to adjust as we move through the course. Because the other thing to remember about content is, as we discussed in our earlier video, where the teacher is responsible for the framework, the student is the focus of learning, and that student body, whoever's in front of you at that time, may determine some of the content that needs to go out and some extra content that needs to come in based on those personal experiences, based on the vocabulary that they need to know and to learn and to do, and based on some of the softer skills that you as a content specialist know they're going to need in their process forward. With that in mind, you are responsible for your content in your course based on the Master Syllabus and the course description as laid out by the college. But as a teacher, you have a great deal of flexibility about what goes in and what comes out, and that may change just a little bit each semester based on the students that you work with.